neglected. In the same vein, Your Excellency, let me again remind you that the unconstitutional deduction of our judges' salaries and benefit under the pretext of harmonization in 2018 remain unpaid. The judges' complaint is pending before the Honorable Supreme Court of Liberia, but the court prefer to resolve this matter through cooperation and coordination among the three branches of government. And going in all your honor, your administration has made some partial payment. So perhaps we advise the judges to file their action. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, the James AAPL Judicial Institute was primarily established to intervene and train in service. The institution has, over the years, immensely assisted in training college graduates, enabling us to intervene in regions where the judiciary is finding it difficult to find law school graduates. We are, however, pleased to report that, based on the statistics before us, Montserrat County has produced enough law school graduates who are willing and prepared to serve as stipendiary and associate magistrate. Consequently, this administration of the judiciary will institute a dress-by-dress policy under which graduates of the judicial institution will be transferred to other locations. Judicial institution will be transferred to other locations in the Republic to enable law school graduates to replace them. As a result of this policy, the Judicial Institute will no longer accept applications for Montserrat County. Congratulations, Montserrat County. Statistics show that this trend will sooner or later be followed by Nimba County. We encourage law school graduates from other counties, especially lower counties, to take interest in serving their people back home. In an effort to regulate, improve the practice of law in Liberia, by the end of the second Monday in March, submit the full names and current address of their law firm, along with the names of all lawyers therein, Supreme Court. This information will be compiled in the form of a booklet and circulated to all courts in Liberia. This exercise is intended to enable our court staff, especially the visiting lawyers, to also have access to one another. The action of such information is making the service of priests extremely difficult for the court. It's a law. We urge members of the bar to take note that this is a policy, not a request, and that it will be enforced to the letter. 29 and regulate the practice of law in this jurisdiction has set a committee chaired by Councillor P. Edwin Gossi and co-chaired by Councillor M. With lawyer practicing before the court prepare their briefs and other papers in any manner and form of their choice, some bearing the issue to be addressed by the to establish uniformity in papers submitted to the Supreme Court. We appreciate the cooperation of the bar. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, because of these mandatory requirements, the Office of the Chief Justice has received scores of applicants who attain law degree abroad. In view of the above, the Supreme Court constituted a 12-man committee headed by Professor Councillor Emmanuel James to review and advise the Supreme Court. Also, the Supreme Court also communicated with the Dean of the Louis Arab Grand School of Law and the President of the Liberian Law School to also provide their view on matters so as to enable the Supreme Court make an informed decision. Up to date, the President of the Law School has submitted, we are still awaiting the Dean of the Louis Arab Grand School of Law. As you may recall, and the subsequent opening address of the October 80, 2025 Tenure of Court, I promise to establish the Judicial Monitoring, Evaluation, and Accountability Section to police the performance of the judiciary employee and to ensure accountability. True to my words, we have established the division and staffed it. We have also seconded a judge to join that division and counselors at law. In addition, we have hired a specialist in the court's performances. We have also observed an movement in the collection of court fees and fines. Jurisdiction were last visited in 1999, about 26 years ago. Quite obviously, some components of the rules were no longer applicable to contemporary reality, soon as possible and subsequently adapted for our use. We want to extend our thanks and appreciation to the chairman and members of the committee who performed the Herculean task. A total of 23 qualified applicants to be admitted to the Supreme Court bar, and they were admitted to the bar. In other words, the regular practice of law by lawyers in this jurisdiction need to be reinforced. In fact, that is a challenge to the quote-unquote gender equity or gender equality. While the bench is interested in increasing the number of female judges in this jurisdiction to take interest in the courtroom practice. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for the October 2025 term of court, this court successfully adjudicated and rendered final proceeding against Mr. Justin Opa Yezian of Ziata District. Vice. Every person shall have the right to freedom of expression, being fully responsible for the abuse thereof. Men and men of the women of the committee abuse thereof. Men and men of the women of the committee who drafted our constitution. Men and men of the women of the committee who drafted our constitution. They could never have been there. Who drafted our constitution? They could never have been their intent. They could never have been their intent. Article 5B of the order have moral or fundamental rights and freedom of order. Certainly, the author of harm to the elder and thoroughly reprimanded. The same applied to the women in the village. The Supreme Court opinion has therefore clarified, in no uncertain terms, anyone who has evidence that Chief Justice Gbese is corrupt or any of the justices are corrupt has a right to criticize and persuade the legislator, Supreme Court librarian, in a power as the final arbiter and interpreter of the Constitution, determine that it has the power and authority not only to punish contempt, but also to determine and that the action of Mr. Yezian in attacking the justices of the Supreme Court bench without evidence and ringing insult was intended to bring the Supreme Court to public disrepute and erode public confidence in the court. Consequently, Mr. Yezian, when invited, he appeared before the court in line with due process of law, pleaded for mercy of the court, and based on his plea, the court adjudged him guilty of contempt. The court, however, tendered justice with mercy and sentenced him for only 6 months, conditionally. We sent him for only 6 months conditionally. Now 6 months conditionally. Mr. Yezian will serve his imprisonment term, and at the end of declaring that he will never, ever insult anybody in Liberia. We acknowledge with thanks and appreciation Kanyo Bagbala, Councillor Arthur Johnson, Councillor Lawrence Sua, Councillor Cyril Sevenio Sifos, and all other councillors at law who went extra to the Liberian people. The power of the court to protect itself through consent proceeding is wholly with age for centuries. That our country has been perceived in recent history as a lawless nation in this region. Something has to be done to bring our people to civility. Now that the Supreme, there is a common saying that one parent cannot train a child. In its power to interpret the Constitution and the law, we now encourage the other two branches of government to employ appropriate disciplinary means to discipline those in their employ who may want to continue. There is absolutely nothing in our law that gives any government official, irrespective of your status in society, immunity for using vulgarity. The court is open, and when the matter is properly brought before us, this court will act and act decisively, as the hearing power of the court is not only to rule, but to discipline the society. Thank you.
And the president of the Liberia National Bar Association.
Distinguished members of the Supreme Court, members of the diplomatic corps, heads of international organizations, retired. It is indeed a privilege and pleasure to me to hail and greet you. It is indeed a privilege and pleasure to me to hail and greet you on this occasion. Mr. Chief Justice, Associate Justices, with your honors, we want to recognize the presence of the President and members of the Nigeria Bar Association. We welcome you to the opening of this chamber of the Supreme Court. It is our hope that your visit to our country and that note with regret and sadness the demise of judicial staff and permanent members of the legal profession in Liberia, including former Associate Justice, sitting as Chief Justice. You have undertaken several major judicial actions, including a credentials audit of judicial personnel, the establishment of the Division of Judicial Monitoring, Evaluation, and Accountability, and the establishment of a committee to draft a bill for the creation of a family and children court. Regarding the modernization of the judiciary and the ongoing efforts to enhance judicial accountability. As the Dean of the Supreme Court Bar, I affirm the executive turn with all interference. Your efforts in providing specialized training for judges is commendable. They will the quality of justice and respect for the judiciary. In this modern era, judges must be able to understand, be knowledgeable about, and have the expertise necessary to handle the most common cases as well as the most complex. The executive branch will lend its support to the bench in its endeavors to ensure that the judiciary is manned by informed, competent, qualified, morally upright, and independent men and women who will bring credit and honor to the bar, the bench, and the nation. The executive branch will also cooperate with the judiciary and international organizations in organizing, establishing, and implementing programs aimed at improving our system of justice and the quality and performance of judges and judicial personnel. Mr. Chief Justice, we congratulate you on your able representation and participation in the Conference of Constitutional Jurisdiction of Africa, which culminated into the Supreme Court's formal entry into that organization. Mr. Chief Justice and Associate Justices, we welcome the appointment and commissioning of 5 judges within the judiciary. We have faith and confidence in their ability. However, we believe that it will be beneficial to the judiciary if the Supreme Court will organize an orientation program for newly appointed judges. This will provide instruction on how judges and court personnel should function in a modern, fair, efficient, and accessible and transparent court system. The orientation training program will address competence, conduct, and case law while focusing on imparting knowledge, improving skills and techniques, establishing values and standards, and developing a judge's sense of responsibility. This will better prepare them for the execution of their duties, will enhance the quality of the courts, and will help to bolster government's efforts in enhancing access to justice for all Liberians. Your Honor, we note your remarks relative to harmonization of judges' salaries and benefits, and the need for cooperation and coordination of the three branches of government to resolve this. The executive branch of government looks forward to this interaction and a speedy resolution of the matter. As we stand in solidarity with your vision for a modernized court system, we'll continue to advocate for the budgetary support necessary to ensure our judges and court officers nationwide have the tools they need to serve. We commend you, Mr. Chief Justice and Associate Justices, for your efforts in improving the infrastructure of the judiciary. True nation will be moved and motivated to be trained and to serve in the absence of law school graduates. Mr. Chief Justice, we note and applaud your efforts in compiling direct and communication among practicing lawyers. Also, we believe it will stop the practice of matter being halted or postponed or continue the filing of papers before the Supreme Court. We applaud and congratulate you on the Constitutional Committee to review and advise the Supreme Court as to the admissibility or non-admissibility of applicants to law in our country. This is an issue that needs to be addressed. We have a duty to ensure that applicants applying to practice law in Liberia have undergone a vigorous training that prepares them for effective and responsible participation in the legal profession. In an effort to protect the public, they must have gone through an educational program that ensures that they, one, understand their ethical responsibilities as representatives of clients, officers of courts, and public citizens responsible for the quality and availability of justice. Two, receive basic education through a curriculum that develops, one, understanding of the theory, philosophy, role, and ramifications of the law and its institutions. Two, skills of legal analysis, reasoning and problem solving, oral and written communication, legal research, and other fundamental skills that are necessary to participate effectively in the legal profession. Three, understanding of the basic principle of public and private law. And four, understanding the law as a public profession. Mr. Chief Justice, we are pleased to hear of the positive impact the Judicial Monitoring, Evaluation, and Accountability Department is making in our judicial system. The executive branch of government is in support of this initiative and stands ready and available to assist in this endeavor. Mr. Chief Justice and Associate Justices, we note that this bench heard and disposed of 63 cases, including the contempt proceedings against Mr. Justin Opa Yizeng. As we are always stated, we are of the strong conviction and belief that this court has the wherewithal to deliver justice as is expected of it. We are certain that the bench will inspire confidence in its opinions and judgments by the righteousness and soundness of its opinions. Mr. Chief Justice, we acknowledge your call for better coordination between the branches of government. Recent history has shown that when the executive and judiciary work in silos, the rule of law suffers. We commit to the protocols of institutional respect that preserve our tripartite system of government. In this light, we assure you that the executive branch will continue the good and harmonious relationship that has always existed between the two branches of government. We assure you of the executive branch continued cooperation with the bench. Your Honors, a season of renewal. Let this term be defined by a shared courage, the courage to rule without fear or favor, and the courage of the executive branch of God's 2026 term of the Supreme Court, It is with a sense of deep respect and admiration that I extend to you greetings and congratulations for the excellency that wish the members of the court good health, happiness, and prosperity. We look forward to a pure, robust legal discourse and further strengthening of our democracy. With Almighty God, save the Republic. I thank you.
As Joseph Newman Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, the Honorable Speaker, Rashid Kuhn, and the President of the Trial Judges Association, President and members, senior counselors, officers and members of the Liberian National Bar Association, the president and members of the Association of Liberia, distinguished government officials, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Liberian National Bar Association, Senior, for the address delivered at this honorable opening of the March term of court. The opening of each term of this honorable court represents an important constitutional joins the court in warmly welcoming the Nigerian Bar Association headed by Mazi Afem Ozigwe, a senior advocate of Nigeria. You're welcome to Liberia. At the same time, the Bar Association also extends heartfelt sympathies to the judiciary for the loss period, especially those of former Associate Justice George Henrys, who worked until he could not work anymore. During the same period, the Bar also lost 4 lawyers and 1 attorney at law. And for those passing, we extend deepest condolences to all families and the efficient administration of justice. These principles remain essential to maintaining public confidence in the judiciary. The Bar shares the view that the rule of law must remain the firm foundation of democratic governance, and that the credibility of our other institutions depend on large judges in Lower Buchanan and Bassett County. Initiatives of this nature are vital to strengthening the judicial capacity, particularly in judgment writing, courtroom management. The Liberian National Bar Association recognizes its responsibility in the administration of justice. Lawyers serve not only as advocates, the Bar remains committed to promoting ethical conduct, strengthening professional standards, and upholding the highest ideals of the legal profession. The Bar also reaffirms that the effective administration of justice is best preserved where the relationship between the bench and the Bar are grounded in mutual respect, institutional independence, and constructive engagement. The Bar further acknowledges the Supreme Court's mandate requiring firms practicing before the courts to submit the names and contacts of their lawyers and support staff to the office of the clerk. My leadership, the Bar Association will work with all law firms to ensure full compliance with this directive. For lawyers not affiliated with law firms, the Bar will compile and submit the necessary information through the office of the clerk. The bar also welcomes the Supreme Court's initiative to develop standardized format for filing papers before this court. We believe that this effort will significantly enhance efficiency and modernization of legal practice before the court. Additionally, the bar acknowledges the court's decision to appoint a committee to review the admissibility of certain applicants in the committee for submitting its advisory report and encourage further engagement with the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law and the Liberia School of Law so that the courts may arrive at challenges affecting the delivery of justice persist, including delays in the adjudication and limited access system. In this regard, the bar commends the Supreme Court for the adjudication and final disposition of 63 cases during the October term of court. This is commendable, Supreme Court. This moment is particularly historic for the Liberia National Bar Association, as it is currently led by its first female president since 1907. This milestone reflects meaningful progress within the legal profession and underscores the important role women continue to play in the advancing of national development, justice and national development. To this regard, I welcome the senior class of the St. Teresa Convent who is here today to witness this occasion. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, you will be sitting here as well. It is our hope that this movement will inspire greater inclusion, leadership, and excellence across the legal community. The Liberian National Bar reiterates its commitment to working constructively with the Supreme Court, the judiciary, and all stakeholders to strengthen our justice system and ensure that our courts remain institutions where justice is administered impartially and with them and fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Together, we must ensure that the justice system continues to serve the Liberian people with fair National Bar Association, which is the Supreme Court of Liberia, a productive and successful march term. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
Mr. Clerk.
We now invite for another selection this point.
I said the remark by the Nigeria Bar Association, do we agree on it? We are not even sure.
point,
Deep sense of fraternity that I convey the warm greetings and best wishes of the Nigerian Bar Association to this distinguished gathering as you formally open the door of continuing professional development and capacity building through structured training programs, joint conferences, young lawyers exchanges, and virtual learning platforms. Our bars can work together to enforce advocacy standards, deepen ethics, compliance, strengthening legal research culture, and build specialization in emerging areas to respond to the realities of our time. As West Africa advances regional integration, there is an increasing need for legal harmonization and professional cooperation. We look forward to exploring frameworks that encourage cross-border legal services and dispute resolution mechanisms capable of attracting investment and strengthening investor confidence across our region. The digital transformation of justice delivery also demands coordinated thinking. We are keen to share experiences on legal technology adoption, electronic filing system, virtual hearings, cybersecurity awareness, and the responsible integration of artificial intelligence within legal practice, while ensuring that innovations never compromise fairness or due process of law. As Liberia continues on its path of national development and national consolidation, the legal profession will remain central to promoting peace, stability, investor confidence, and economic growth. A credible justice system is not merely a constitutional necessity, it is in fact an economic imperative. Permit me at this juncture to warmly welcome members of the Liberian Bar Association to participate in the forthcoming annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, scheduled to hold in the garden city of Port Harcourt from the 21st day of August 2026 to the 28th day of August 2026. The conference will bring together jurists, scholars, policymakers, and practitioners from across jurisdictions to interrogate pressing legal and governance issues shaping our region and the wider Commonwealth. We would be deeply honored to host our Liberian colleagues and further strengthen the bonds of professional brotherhood and regional cooperation. Permit me at this juncture to pause to extend our appreciation to the President of the National Bar of Liberia for the warm hospitality we have so far received and for all the guidance since our arrival in this country on Friday, and to say that we owe you a debt of gratitude. We deeply appreciate, and also to use this podium to formally congratulate you on being the first female president of the Bar Association, and to say that it is the expectation that many more women will get to play that role. May this term usher in renewed resolve, strengthen the institutions, principled advocacy, and greater public trust in the justice system of Liberia. On behalf of the NBA, I assure you of our solidarity, partnership, and enduring friendship. Together we can build a legal community that not only responds to present challenges, but shapes a more just and prosperous future for our region. I thank you for the honor of this fellowship, and I wish the Liberian Bar and the bench a most fruitful and impactful legal year. Thank you so very much for permitting me to take a few minutes of your time to make this remark. Thank you so very much.
Mr. Glenn? Though here present, you will similar content to the Speaker, similar content to the Pro Tem of the Senate, informing them that the Honorable Supreme Court of Liberia has
of the Nigerian Bar will be honored to have you at the lunch, and that will be in the main hall. In Criminal Code A, we will have, in Criminal Code A, we will have, sorry, you will be served in the backyard of the Temple of Justice. So please, we're doing it for control purpose. They are part of us when we are having these occasions. So normally, we arrange food for them. They assemble in the backyard and enjoy themselves. So thank you for coming on behalf of you at the lunch. Thank you.
Now we finish.
Let us receive the benediction. This event, this ceremony is ended for our lives and services, but do to others as you want to do to you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you.
Mr. IT Marshal, we please adjourn for today's sitting.
Subject to call. God save the Republic and this honorable court. Your honors, I have the honor, as per your order, to adjourn.
Mr. Marshal, Your Honor, please be seated. Well, Mr. Marshal, please escort the President to the ruling room. Hello? Mr. Speaker, you can proceed along with the President.
Educational institutions, from primary schools. Welcome to Liberia, a West African coastal nation of unparalleled beauty and immense potential. It is a land of rich history, vibrant culture, and resilience. Agriculture is the heartbeat of Liberia, with His Excellency President Joseph Boakai beginning his national agenda with agriculture. It is not just a livelihood. It is the foundation of our best agenda. We are committed to modernizing farming practices, enhancing food security, making Liberia a leading exporter of agricultural goods in West Africa. Build trust in our institutions.
Our commitment is to make this country